the first time I met Claire Whitmore. I had no idea she was about to become my CEO. I only knew that a stunning woman in a black dress stepped into my path outside a luxury hotel restaurant and asked, "Do you have a car?" I looked behind me. She frowned. "I'm talking to you." I figured. I was just checking whether there was another guy nearby who looked more qualified for whatever this is. There isn't. That was my introduction to Claire. Beautiful, cold, and apparently incapable of wasting words. I had come to the Langford Hotel for my friend Noah's birthday dinner. Claire, as I would soon discover, had come for something considerably less enjoyable. She glanced toward the restaurant entrance. "I need to leave." "Then leave. My family's driver is outside." "That sounds convenient." "It isn't." "Why?" She looked at me for 2 seconds before answering. "I'm escaping a blind date." I laughed. She didn't. "You're serious?" "Yes." "And you need my help?" "Yes." "Why me?" Her eyes moved over me once. "You look trustworthy." "That's surprisingly nice." "And harmless." There it is. For the first time. Her lips almost curved. Then voices came from behind us. "Ms. Witt." Claire grabbed my wrist. "Move." "What? Now?" She pulled me toward the service corridor. Apparently, I had already agreed. 5 minutes later, we were crossing the hotel's underground garage. Claire walked quickly despite the heels she was wearing. I unlocked my car. She stopped when she saw it. "What?" "Nothing." "You look disappointed." I expected something different. "It's a Honda, not a contagious disease." She got in. I started the engine. "Where to?" "Anywhere." "That isn't an address." "Away from here." I drove. Only after we were several blocks from the hotel did Claire finally relax. "So," I said, "how terrible was he?" "Who?" "The man you just recruited a stranger to rescue you from." "He wasn't terrible." "Then why run?" "He spent 20 minutes explaining how my career should change after marriage." I nodded. "Okay. I support the escape. I knew you would. You've known me 10 minutes." That was enough. There was something strange about the way she said it. Not flirtatious. Certain. As though Claire was accustomed to making decisions quickly and rarely reconsidering them. I stopped at a small coffee shop near the river. She looked at the sign. "Coffee. You escaped a blind date. I assume you need recovery time." "I need caffeine." "Even better." We went inside. Claire attracted attention immediately. It wasn't only because she was beautiful. She carried herself like someone used to entering rooms where everyone else moved aside. I ordered black coffee. She ordered nothing. I looked at her. "What do you want?" "Coffee." "What kind?" She paused. I stared. "You don't know?" "I know." "Then order." Another pause. I laughed. "You don't know?" Claire gave me a cold look. "Choose." I bought her a latte. She took one sip. Then another. "Good. It's acceptable." "You like it?" "Acceptable." "Right." We sat by the window. For a while, neither of us spoke. Then she asked, "What do you do?" "I'm a strategy analyst." "Where?" "Whitmore Industries." Her cup stopped halfway to her lips. I noticed. "What?" "Nothing." "You know the company?" "Yes. Everyone in Chicago knows it." Claire lowered the cup. "Do you like working there?" "Mostly." "I heard you're getting a new CEO." "We are." "What have you heard?" "That she's the founder's granddaughter." Claire said nothing. "And apparently she's terrifying." One eyebrow rose. "Terrifying." "Cold." "Ruthless." "Impossible to please." "Maybe she has standards." "Maybe she needs a vacation." Claire stared at me. I smiled. "What?" "Nothing." "You keep saying that." She ignored me. "What if she's not as bad as people say?" "Then I'll survive." "And if she is?" "I'll stay away from her." For some reason. Claire looked amused. "You think that will work?" "Why wouldn't it?" She took another sip of her latte. "No reason." I should have paid more attention to that answer. Her phone vibrated. Claire checked it. "I have to go." "Your family found you." "Yes." "Am I about to be arrested?" "No." "Good." A black sedan arrived outside several minutes later. Before Claire got in, she turned to me. "Ethan." I hadn't realized she had remembered my name. "Claire. What's your last name?" "Why?" "So I can find you." I laughed. "You planning to escape another date?" Her eyes stayed on mine. "Maybe." "Then keep my number." "I don't have it." I took her phone and entered it. Claire looked down at the screen, then back at me. "Good." That sounded ominous. It wasn't. She opened the car door. "Thanks for tonight." "No problem." She hesitated, then said, "I like talking to you." It was the first genuinely soft thing she had said all evening. I smiled. "Careful. You almost sound friendly." Her expression immediately returned to its usual coolness. "Good night." "Ethan." The car drove away. I watched it disappear. Then my phone buzzed. An unknown number. "Claire, now I have your number too." I smiled. "Ethan, efficient." Her reply came immediately. "Claire, always." I thought that was the end of the story. It wasn't even the beginning. Monday morning. Whitmore Industries called an emergency all-hands meeting. At 9 sharp, hundreds of employees filled the auditorium. Noah stood beside me. New CEO, he whispered. I know. $20 says she fires somebody today. You're optimistic. The doors opened. The chairman entered first, then several directors. Then the new CEO walked in. My smile disappeared. Black tailored suit, dark hair, calm expression. Claire. Noah noticed my face. What? I didn't answer. Claire stepped onto the stage. The chairman smiled. Please welcome our new chief executive officer, Claire Whitmore. Noah started applauding. I didn't. I was too busy remembering everything I'd said about our terrifying new CEO while buying her a latte. Then Claire looked across the auditorium. Her eyes found me. She paused and smiled. Barely, but enough. I muttered, I'm screwed. After the meeting, I tried to leave with everyone else. I almost made it. Ethan Cole. Claire's voice carried across the room. People stopped, including me. Noah looked at me. How does the new CEO already know your name? Long story. Claire looked directly at me. Stay? Noah's eyes widened. You're definitely getting fired. Thanks. He left. A few minutes later, the auditorium was empty. Claire walked toward me. I folded my arms. You knew? Yes. Friday night. Yes. When I told you I worked here. Yes. And you let me call my future CEO terrifying. Yes. I sighed. You enjoyed that. A little. That surprised me. You admitted it. I'm trying something new. She stopped in front of me. The playful look disappeared. Ethan. What? I made a decision. That sentence immediately worried me. About what? You. I blinked. Me. Yes. She looked completely serious. Be my man. I stared at her. Excuse me. You heard me. You're my CEO? Yes. You can't order me to date you. Claire considered that for exactly 2 seconds. Then she said, fine. I relaxed. Then she added, consider it a personal order. I laughed. She didn't. Claire, that's still an order. I know. You're unbelievable. And the answer is no. For the first time since meeting her, Claire looked genuinely surprised. No. No. Why? Because you're my boss. We've known each other for 1 evening. And normal people usually start with dinner. Claire thought about that. Fine. What now? Dinner. When? Friday. I haven't agreed. You will. There was absolute confidence in her voice. I shook my head and headed for the door. Behind me, Claire called, Ethan. I looked back. The Ice Queen of Whitmore Industries stood beneath the stage lights, watching me. Then she said, Friday. 7. Still sounds like an order. Her lips curved. Get used to it. I walked out laughing. 30 seconds later, my phone buzzed. Claire, Friday. 7 p.m. Another message followed. Claire, wear the jacket from that night. I stared at the screen. Then a third appeared. Claire, I liked it. I couldn't help smiling. Everyone at Whitmore Industries was terrified of their new Ice Queen CEO. Apparently, I had a different problem. She liked me. By Friday afternoon, everyone at Whitmore Industries had learned 3 things about Claire Whitmore. She arrived before 7. She remembered every number in every report. And she hated excuses. In 4 days, she had rejected 2 expansion proposals, replaced a regional director, and sent a 40-page strategy deck back because the projections didn't match the supporting data. People had stopped calling her the Ice Queen as a joke. Now they whispered it like a warning. My experience was slightly different. At 4:18 Friday afternoon, my phone buzzed. Claire, 7 p.m. Don't be late. I looked at the message. Ethan, still sounds like an order. Her reply came almost immediately. Claire, 7:01 will have consequences. Ethan, HR would love these messages. There was a longer pause this time. Then, Claire, fine. Please don't be late. I smiled. That was progress. At exactly 7, I walked out of the building. Claire was waiting beside a black sedan. She had changed out of her work clothes. Dark dress, light coat, hair loose over her shoulders. For a second, I forgot she was my CEO. Then she looked at my jacket. The same one. You requested it. I did. So technically I'm following orders. Good. Don't get excited. Her mouth curved slightly. The driver opened the door. I didn't move. Claire looked at me. What? Where are we going? Dinner. I gathered that. A restaurant. Claire. She sighed. Do you always need this much information before getting into mysterious black cars? Usually. I'm not kidnapping you. You did tell me to become your man on Monday. That was different. How? She thought for a moment, then opened the car door herself. Get in. Ethan. I laughed. There she is. The restaurant was expensive. Too expensive for a first date. The hostess recognized Claire immediately and led us toward a private dining room. I stopped. No. Claire turned. What? No private room. Why? Because this is supposed to be a date. It is. A private room with two staff members waiting outside feels like a merger negotiation. Claire looked at the room, then at me. What do you suggest? I pointed toward the main dining area. A table. There are people there. That's usually how restaurants work. She gave me a look. 5 minutes later, we were sitting among everyone else. Claire seemed uncomfortable, not nervous, just unfamiliar with being ordinary. That fascinated me. You don't do this often, do you? Eat? Date? No. How many? She looked at me. That's personal. We're on a date. 1. I paused. The guy from the hotel. Yes. That was your first blind date. My first date. I nearly dropped my glass. You're 29. Yes. And that guy was your first date. Yes. And you escaped. Yes. I started laughing. Claire's eyes narrowed. This is amusing. A little. Why? Your romantic career lasted 35 minutes before you required emergency extraction. He was boring. Brutal. He deserved it. I smiled. Then I realized something. Wait. What? Does that make this your second date? Yes. And your first voluntary one? Claire looked at me. Yes. Something about the way she said it changed the mood. I leaned back. No pressure. There isn't any. You threatened consequences if I was 1 minute late. I withdrew that. You said please. Exactly. I laughed. She tried not to smile. Failed. Dinner was surprisingly easy. Claire didn't talk much about money. She didn't talk about the Whitmore family unless I asked. Instead, she asked about me, my parents, my sister, why I became a strategy analyst, why I'd stayed at Whitmore Industries for 3 years. At first, I thought she was interviewing me. Then I realized she was simply bad at casual conversation. You know, I said, you don't have to evaluate me. I'm not. You asked where I see myself in 5 years. That's a normal question. In job interviews. Claire frowned. What do people normally ask? Favorite movie. That's useful. No. Then why ask? Because normal conversation isn't a due diligence process. She considered that. Favorite movie. I told her. She nodded seriously. I stared at her. You're going to watch it, aren't you? Yes. You don't have to. I want to understand the answer. That was unexpectedly sweet. I didn't tell her. She probably would have denied it. When dessert arrived, Claire's phone rang. She looked at the screen and declined the call. A minute later, it rang again. She declined again. Important. My grandfather. The same grandfather from the blind date. Yes. Maybe answer. No. Why? He'll ask where I am. And I'll tell him. With me? Yes. So what's the problem? Claire looked at me as though the answer were obvious. He'll investigate you. I stopped. He'll what? Background check. Family. Education. Finances. Probably medical history if his people get enthusiastic. I stared at her. That's insane. Yes. You agree. Completely. Then why does he do it? Because he's my grandfather. That apparently explained everything. Her phone rang a third time. Claire picked it up. What? I couldn't hear the other side. Her expression cooled. No. Pause. I said no. Another pause. Then her eyes moved toward me. Yes. I'm with someone. I raised my eyebrows. Claire ignored me. No. Not Daniel. Her voice became colder. The man I chose. I nearly choked on my water. She continued as though she hadn't just said that. No. You may not meet him. Pause. Because you'll frighten him. I mouthed. Already frightened. Claire kicked me lightly under the table. I grinned. She ended the call. For a moment, neither of us spoke. Then I asked, the man you chose? Yes. That's a little intense for date number 2. This is date number 1. Your second date. The first one didn't count. Convenient. Claire folded her hands. You don't like being chosen. Depends on whether I get a choice too. Her expression changed. Not dramatically, but I saw it. She understood. Monday's joke about an order had been funny because I knew she couldn't actually order me. But Claire was powerful enough that she needed to understand the difference. I see, she said. Then, more quietly, do you want to be here? I looked at her. For once, there was no command in her voice. No CEO, just Claire. Yes. Her shoulders relaxed. Good. I smiled. You were worried. No. You absolutely were. I wasn't. Your face changed. My face doesn't change. That might be the most ridiculous thing you've said. She gave me a cold look. I laughed. And eventually, so did she. After dinner, the driver was waiting. Claire looked at the car, then at me. Walk. That surprised me. Sure. We walked along the river. Chicago was cold that night, and Claire had clearly chosen her coat for appearance rather than temperature. After 5 minutes, she crossed her arms. You're cold. No. You're shivering. No. I took off my jacket. Claire frowned. I don't need it. You're terrible at lying. So are you. How? You're cold too. True. I put the jacket around her shoulders anyway. She stopped. For several seconds. She looked down at it. Then at me. What? Nothing. You like my jacket that much? No. Claire. She pulled it tighter around herself. I like that you gave it to me. That shut me up. She started walking again. I followed. You realize you're occasionally very sweet. Don't tell anyone. CEO reputation. Yes. Your secret's safe. A few minutes later, we reached a quieter section of the river walk. Claire stopped near the railing. Ethan. Yeah. Why did you say no? To what? Monday. I knew exactly what she meant. Because you ordered me to become your boyfriend. My man. Somehow worse. She ignored that. Was that the only reason? I thought about it. No. What else? You're Claire Whitmore. Her expression cooled slightly. You care about the name. Not the way you think. Then explain. I leaned against the railing. You're my CEO? You're also from a family powerful enough to have security following you to dates. Yes. You can make one phone call and change someone's career. Yes. So if this happens, I need to know something. What? That I'm allowed to say no. Claire stared at me. You are. Even to you. Especially to me. There was no hesitation. That mattered. I nodded. Then we're good. She looked at me for a moment. Does that mean you'll date me? We're already on a date. Future dates. Maybe. Her eyes narrowed. Maybe. You're not used to hearing that word. Are you? No. Good for you. Ethan. I smiled. Yes. I want another date. There it was again. Direct. Claire never flirted around the point. She simply walked toward it. Okay. Her expression changed immediately. Okay. Saturday. Tomorrow. You busy? I can cancel something. Don't. I'll move it. Claire. Sunday. I laughed. Sunday works. Good. Then she took out her phone. What are you doing? Scheduling it. Of course you are. My phone buzzed. Sunday. Date with Ethan. 3:00 p.m. I stared at the invitation. You're unbelievable. You accepted. I haven't. Claire looked at me. I pressed accept. She smiled. A real one. And I realized I liked being the reason it appeared. Monday morning. Claire was the ice queen again. At 8:30. She tore apart a financial forecast in the executive conference room. At 9:15. She rejected a proposal my team had spent 3 weeks preparing. At 9:17. My director looked ready to resign. Claire tapped one page. These assumptions aren't defensible. Nobody spoke. She looked around the table. Who built the base case? I raised my hand. I did. My director looked horrified. Claire looked at me. For 1 second, I wondered whether dating the CEO was about to become the worst decision of my professional life. Explain. So I did. I disagreed with her. Twice. The room became so quiet I could hear the ventilation. Claire challenged my assumptions. I challenged hers. After 10 minutes, she closed the report. Revise pages 12 through 19. Keep the base model. My director blinked. Keep it. Yes. Then Claire looked at me. Your assumptions were better than mine. Half the table stared at her. I did too. She simply moved to the next agenda item. After the meeting, I caught up with her outside. You admitted you were wrong. She kept walking. I was. In front of everyone. Yes. I thought ruthless CEOs didn't do that. Claire stopped. Bad executives protect their egos. Good executives protect the company. Then she looked at me. And dating me doesn't make your work correct. I know. Good. Dating me. She froze. I smiled. You said dating. Claire recovered instantly. We have a second date scheduled. Third. The hotel doesn't count. Still rewriting history. Yes. She started walking again. I followed. Then she said without looking back, lunch. What? Eat with me. Is that an order? Claire stopped. Slowly. She turned. For a moment, I saw the old answer in her eyes. Then she corrected herself. No. She paused. Would you like to have lunch with me? I smiled. Sure. Claire nodded once. Then she walked away as if she'd just closed a billion-dollar deal. That afternoon, Noah appeared beside my desk. He looked around, then leaned closer. You're sleeping with the CEO? I nearly spit out my coffee. No. Dating. I stared at him. His eyes widened. Oh my God. Keep your voice down. You are Noah. The Ice Queen. She has a name. His mouth fell open. You're defending her. Go back to work. He grabbed the edge of my desk. How? How what? How did this happen? I thought about the hotel. The black dress. The service corridor. The latte. Her first real smile. Then Monday morning. Be my man. I shook my head. Apparently, I helped the wrong woman escape a blind date. Noah grinned. Wrong. My phone buzzed. A message from Claire. Claire, are you free tonight? I replied. Ethan, why? 3 dots. Claire, I want to see you. Simple. No order. No excuse. I looked at the message longer than necessary. Noah noticed my face. That's her, isn't it? Go away. He laughed and left. I looked back at the screen, then typed, Ethan, 7. Her answer came instantly. Claire, 6:30. I smiled. Ethan, bossy. A moment later, Claire, you like it. I stared at that one, then laughed. Maybe I did. The rest of the company knew Claire Whitmore as an ice queen. Cold, untouchable, impossible to read. But I was beginning to discover something nobody else knew. Claire wasn't cold. She simply had no idea how to be gentle with something she wanted. And lately, what she wanted was me. Dating Claire Whitmore was surprisingly simple. Keeping it secret at work was not. For the next 3 weeks, we established one rule at the office. She was my CEO. Outside the office, she was Claire. Claire took the rule seriously, maybe too seriously. During meetings, she treated me exactly like everyone else. If my analysis was good, she approved it. If it was bad, she sent it back. Once, she made me redo an entire model because I had used outdated market assumptions. Her message contained 4 words, fix it by tomorrow. I replied, very romantic. 30 seconds later, Claire, this is work. Then another message appeared. Claire, dinner after. That was Claire. Ice first, sweetness second, usually hidden where nobody else could see it. Our relationship developed quietly. Sunday afternoons became ours. Sometimes we went somewhere expensive because Claire chose. Sometimes I took her somewhere ordinary because she needed practice being a normal person. The first time I took her to a neighborhood burger place, she stared at the plastic basket in front of her. Where are the plates? There aren't any. She looked offended. 5 minutes later, she stole 3 of my fries. You have your own. Yours are better. They're literally from the same kitchen. She stole another. I slapped her hand away. Claire stared at me. Nobody slapped Claire Whitmore's hand away from anything. Did you just? Yes. She reached for another fry. I moved the basket. Her eyes narrowed. Ethan, no. Give them back. They're mine. I want them. Buy another order. She stared at me for several seconds. Then she smiled. That smile was becoming dangerous. Fine. She moved her chair closer. What are you doing? Instead of answering, she reached around me and stole another fry. I laughed. The woman who could terrify a room full of executives was fighting me over potatoes. I like this Claire. Probably too much. The problem started on a Tuesday. Her name was Rachel Morgan. She transferred from our Boston office to join the strategy team for a major acquisition. Rachel was smart, funny, and easy to work with. She was also an old college friend. When she walked into our department and saw me, she shouted, Ethan. I looked up. Rachel. She crossed the room and hugged me. It's been forever. I hugged her back. 6 years. Still ugly. Still lying. She laughed. That should have been the end of it. Unfortunately, the executive floor overlooked our department through a glass wall, and Claire was standing behind it. I didn't notice her until Rachel walked away. Claire was looking directly at me. Her expression was unreadable. I smiled. She didn't. Then she turned away. That was probably warning number 1. I ignored it. Mistake. At 11, we had an acquisition meeting. Rachel sat beside me because we were presenting the same section. Claire entered last. The room immediately quieted. She took her seat. Begin. My director started the presentation. Everything went normally for 15 minutes. Then Rachel presented our integration assumptions. Claire listened, asked 2 questions. Rachel answered both. Then Claire asked a third, then a fourth, then a fifth. I slowly looked at Claire. She didn't look at me. Rachel handled herself well. Finally, Claire nodded. Fine. We moved on. 10 minutes later, I presented. Claire barely challenged me. That was when I knew. After the meeting, everyone left except me. Claire closed her laptop. I leaned against the table. You were hard on Rachel. She was presenting a major acquisition model. She was good. She was adequate. I smiled. Claire looked at me. What? Nothing. Ethan, you're jealous. No. That answer came much too quickly. I laughed. Claire stood. I am not jealous. Okay. I'm not. I said okay. You don't believe me. Not even a little. She walked past me. I followed her into the corridor. Claire, I have another meeting. You asked Rachel 6 questions. 5. You counted. I count everything. Apparently. She pressed the elevator button. I stood beside her. So you're not jealous? No. The doors opened. We stepped inside. Good. Yes. Because Rachel and I are having lunch. Claire's head turned. Slowly. With whom? Rachel. I heard you. Then why ask? Her expression became colder. Why? Because she's new in Chicago. Other people can eat with her. I started laughing. Claire folded her arms. What's funny? You. Explain. You're absolutely jealous. I simply don't understand why you need to have lunch alone with another woman. That is jealousy. No. What is it? She considered her answer, then said, risk management. I stared at her. Did you just classify Rachel as a risk? Yes. The elevator opened. Claire stepped out. I followed, still laughing. You're unbelievable. She turned. Cancel lunch. No. Her eyes narrowed. Ethan. Claire. I don't like it. There it was. No corporate language. No excuse. Just the truth. I stopped smiling. Why? She looked annoyed that I had asked. Then her voice became quieter. Because she's pretty. I blinked. Claire Whitmore was admitting insecurity. That was new. And she knows you. You know me. She knew you before I did. Claire. I don't like that either. I stepped closer. You know she's just a friend. Yes. Then what's the problem? Claire looked at me. I don't like other women wanting you. I almost smiled again. But this time I didn't tease her. Does Rachel want me? Claire's eyes narrowed. Yes. How do you know? She touched your arm 4 times. You counted that too. 5 if we include the hug. I couldn't help it. I laughed. Claire's face went cold. I caught her hand before she could walk away. She looked down, then at me. Don't laugh. I'm sorry. You aren't. Not really. She tried to pull her hand away. I held on. Claire. What? I like you. She stopped. I hadn't said it that directly before. Her expression softened. Only me. I stared at her. That sounded dangerously close to a girlfriend question. I am asking a question. Yes. Yes what? Yes. Only you. Claire said nothing, but the tips of her ears turned pink. I smiled. There. What? You're blushing. I am not. You are. She pulled her hand free. I have a meeting. Enjoy it. She walked away, then stopped after 3 steps. Without turning around, she said, you can have lunch with Rachel? How generous. Claire looked over her shoulder. But dinner is mine. I grinned. Deal. She walked away. I watched her go. For someone who claimed not to be jealous, Claire was terrible at hiding it. Lunch with Rachel lasted 40 minutes. She told me about Boston. I told her about Chicago. Then she leaned forward. So, I knew that tone. No, I haven't asked anything. You're going to. Rachel smiled. Are you dating someone? Yes. Her eyebrows rose. Seriously, why is that surprising? Because in college you once spent Valentine's Day building a gaming PC. It was a good PC. Who is she? Someone. Helpful. Thank you. Does she work here? I drank my coffee. Rachel stared at me. Then her eyes widened. No. I said nothing. No way. Rachel. Oh my God. Keep your voice down. She leaned closer. Claire Whitmore. I nearly dropped my fork. How did you? You keep looking at the executive floor. I do not. You've done it 6 times. Apparently, I was surrounded by women who counted things. Rachel covered her mouth. This is incredible. It's private. Obviously. I'm serious. She nodded, then smiled. So that's why she interrogated me. She did not interrogate you. Ethan, I've had easier graduate thesis defenses. I laughed. Rachel leaned back. Relax. I'm not interested in you. I know. You should probably tell your terrifying girlfriend. She says she isn't jealous. Rachel laughed so loudly 3 people turned around. That evening, Claire was waiting in my apartment lobby. Not outside. Inside. Sitting perfectly straight on a cheap lobby chair that looked completely wrong beneath her. I stopped. How did you get in? The concierge. He just let you in. Claire looked at me. I sighed. Right. You're Claire Whitmore. She stood. Dinner. You came here just to say that. Yes. You have a phone. I wanted to see you. Again. Claire had a talent for saying unexpectedly sweet things with absolutely no warning. I smiled. What? Nothing. She stepped closer. How was lunch? Good. With Rachel? Yes. Claire nodded. Then, what did you talk about? I laughed. You're doing it again. Doing what? Jealous girlfriend. I am not your girlfriend. I stopped. Claire stopped too. There was a brief silence. She realized what she'd said. I raised an eyebrow. No. Her composure cracked. Slightly. We haven't defined it. True. So technically, Claire. What? Do you want to be my girlfriend? She stared at me. For once, Claire Whitmore had no immediate answer. I waited. Finally, yes. Okay. Her eyebrows pulled together. Okay. Okay. What does that mean? It means you're my girlfriend. She blinked. That easy. Were you expecting paperwork? Maybe. I laughed. She frowned. Then I stepped closer and took her hand. Claire looked down at our fingers. Her entire expression softened. You're smiling again. I said, no, you are. She ignored me. We walked toward the elevators. Then Claire suddenly stopped. What? She looked at me seriously. Now that I'm your girlfriend, can I tell Rachel to stop touching your arm? I stared at her. No. Why? Because you're still her CEO. Claire thought about it. Can you tell her? No. Ethan. I started laughing. She pulled her hand away. I caught it again. Relax. She doesn't want me. You're You're sure? Very. How? She told me. Claire went silent. Then, you disgust me. A little. What did you say? That my girlfriend is terrifying. Claire stopped walking. I grinned. I'm joking. She gave me the coldest look I'd seen all week. Then she stepped into the elevator. I followed. Claire. Nothing. Come on. Silence. Are you mad? No. That's your angry no. She looked straight ahead. I leaned closer. You know you're cute when you're jealous. Her head snapped toward me. Cute. Yes. I am not cute. Terrifyingly cute. The elevator doors opened. Claire walked out. I followed her, laughing. She made it halfway across the lobby before turning around. Ethan. Yes. Come here. Order. She paused, then shook her head. No. Her voice softened. Boyfriend request. I walked toward her. Claire took my hand again and didn't let go. A month later, I learned that Claire's jealousy was the easy problem. The difficult one was her family. It started when I arrived at her apartment for dinner and found her standing by the window with a glass of water she hadn't touched. She didn't turn when I entered. Claire, my grandfather knows. I set down the food I'd brought. About us. Yes. I waited. That sounds bad. It is. Why? She finally looked at me. Because tomorrow night. He wants to meet you. I smiled. The grandfather who background checks people. Yes. Did he background check me? Claire was silent. I stared at her. Claire. Yes. How much does he know? Everything. My bank account. Yes. College. Yes. Family. Yes. Medical history. She hesitated. Oh, come on. I told them not to. That isn't a no. Claire walked toward me. For the first time that night, I noticed something beneath her usual calm. She was nervous. Not about her grandfather. About me. You don't have to go, she said. I looked at her. That surprised me. I thought Claire Whitmore didn't take no for an answer. Not with this. She took my hand. If you don't want this part of my life, I'll understand. There was no order in her voice. No teasing. She meant it. I squeezed her hand. What time? Her eyes searched mine. 7. I'll be there. Ethan. What? My grandfather is difficult. So are you. This isn't funny. I know. He won't care whether I like you. I smiled slightly. Good thing I'm not dating him. Claire stared at me. Then, despite herself, she smiled. I pulled her closer. What could possibly go wrong? Her smile disappeared. A lot. I should have listened. Because the next evening, I learned exactly why Claire Whitmore had spent 29 years believing love and business could never exist in the same room. Claire's grandfather lived in a house that looked like it had opinions about my tax bracket. Not a mansion. That would have been too obvious. It was an enormous stone residence overlooking Lake Michigan, hidden behind iron gates and enough security cameras to make me reconsider every questionable decision I'd made since high school. Claire sat beside me in the car. She had been unusually quiet for the entire drive. You're nervous? I said. No. You've checked the time 6 times. 7. That's worse. She looked at me. I want a night to go well. Then stop looking like you're taking me to an execution. My grandfather isn't that bad. Comforting. He's worse when he likes someone. I turned toward her. What does that mean? The car stopped. Claire opened her door. You'll see. That wasn't comforting either. Arthur Whitmore was waiting in the library. He was 74, silver-haired, perfectly dressed, and looked at me the way Claire looked at acquisition targets. One glance. Immediate assessment. No wasted movement. So this was where she got it. Ethan Cole. Mr. Whitmore. He shook my hand. You're the analyst. Yes. You've worked for us 3 years. Yes. You make 100 and grandfather. Claire's voice cut across the room. Arthur looked at her. What? You promised. I promised not to interrogate him. You just started with his salary. I was establishing context. I looked at Claire. You really are related. She did not appreciate that. Arthur did. He almost smiled. Dinner began 10 minutes later. Claire sat beside me. Her grandfather sat opposite us. For the first few minutes, conversation stayed safe. Work. Chicago. My family. Then Arthur put down his glass. Why Claire? Claire closed her eyes. Grandfather. What? You said you wouldn't. This isn't an interrogation. He looked at me. Why my granddaughter? I considered giving him a polite answer. Claire was intelligent, beautiful, driven, successful. All true. None were the reason I'd started liking her. So I told him the truth. She stole my fries. Silence. Claire slowly turned toward me. Arthur stared. She what? She denies it. I do not. You stole 4. 3. 5. I said. Claire's eyes narrowed. Arthur looked between us. Then, unexpectedly, he laughed. Claire looked betrayed. Grandfather. He waved a hand. Continue. I smiled. The first night I met her, I didn't know who she was. She was just a woman trying to escape a terrible date. It wasn't terrible. You escaped through a service corridor. That was efficient. Arthur's mouth twitched. I continued. She was difficult. Claire looked at me. She still is. Ethan. But she's also funny when she forgets she's supposed to be intimidating. She remembers everything I tell her. She tries things she doesn't understand because they're important to me. Claire's expression changed. And she listens. Arthur became serious. Claire doesn't listen easily. I noticed. Ethan. I smiled. Then I looked at her grandfather. I like Claire. Not Whitmore Industries. Not her title. Claire. Arthur studied me for several seconds. Then he asked, would you leave your job for her? Claire immediately said, no. I looked at her. Arthur did too. I asked him, I heard you. Then let him answer. Claire's jaw tightened. I turned back to Arthur. If staying became unfair to either of us, I'd consider leaving. Consider? Yes. You wouldn't simply resign. No. Why? Because I had a career before I dated Claire. Arthur nodded slowly. Claire relaxed beside me. I understood the test. He wasn't asking whether I would sacrifice everything for her. He wanted to know whether I had enough of a life of my own not to become dependent on hers. Then he asked, do you love her? Claire nearly dropped her fork. Grandfather. What? We've been dating a month. That wasn't my question. I looked at Claire. She was glaring at him. But beneath the annoyance, I saw something else. She wanted to know my answer too. I don't know yet. I said. Claire went still. Arthur leaned back. Interesting. I continued before Claire could misunderstand. I know I care about her. I know I want to keep seeing her. But I'm not going to call something love just because saying it makes dinner easier. Arthur stared at me, then nodded. Good. Claire looked at him. Good. Yes. You just asked my boyfriend whether he loves me. And you're pleased that he said no. I'd be concerned if he claimed to love you after 4 weeks. Claire looked offended by the logic. I leaned toward her. He has a point. Don't encourage him. Arthur smiled. For the first time, dinner became easier. Until he mentioned Daniel Cross. Daniel returned from London. Claire's expression immediately froze. I noticed. Good for Daniel. She said. He asked about you. I didn't ask about him. Arthur glanced at me. I knew immediately. The blind date. I asked. Claire sighed. Yes. Arthur raised an eyebrow. She told you. I helped her escape. Arthur looked at me. Then at Claire. You were the driver. He was not my driver. I drove. Claire glared at me. Arthur laughed again. I was beginning to like him. Claire was not. Then Arthur became serious. Daniel's family remains interested in a partnership. Claire put down her fork. Business or marriage? Both. No. Claire. No. You haven't heard the proposal. I don't need to. Arthur looked toward me. Claire noticed. Her voice became colder. Don't. Don't what? Look at Ethan while discussing who I should marry. Arthur's expression changed. I'm looking at the situation. I am not a situation. The room went quiet. There she was. The CEO? Not the woman who stole fries. Not the woman who sent me calendar invitations for dates. Claire Whitmore. Cold. Certain. Powerful. Arthur said. You will eventually control a company worth billions. Your private decisions will have public consequences. I know. Then you understand why the family cares. I understand why you care. And you don't get to choose for me. Arthur leaned back. Claire took my hand beneath the table. I looked down. Her fingers were tight around mine. She wasn't asking me to fight for her. She was telling me she had already made her decision. Arthur saw it. His eyes softened slightly. Very well. Claire frowned. That's it. For tonight. She didn't look convinced. Neither was I. On the drive home, Claire remained silent. I waited. 5 minutes. 10. Finally. Say something. I thought you liked silence. Not yours. I smiled. You handled it. I shouldn't have brought you. Why? He was rude. He was protective. He discussed another man in front of you. And you nearly froze the dining room. Claire looked out the window. I don't want Daniel. I know. You aren't bothered. Should I be? Yes. Why? He's wealthy. So are you. His family has political connections. I vote. Claire turned toward me. I smiled. He went to Oxford. I went to Northwestern. He owns a house in London. I have a 1-bedroom apartment with excellent water pressure. Claire stared at me, then laughed. Exactly what I'd wanted. I took her hand. I'm not competing with Daniel. Her smile faded. What if my family makes it difficult? For you. For us. Then we'll deal with it. She looked down at our hands. What if I can't give you normal? That question surprised me. What does normal mean? No security. No board. No family expectations. No reporters if they discover us. I don't need normal. What do you need? You to stop deciding what I can handle before asking me. Claire became quiet, then nodded. Okay, that's it. I'm learning. I smiled. Yes, you are. The next month was the happiest we'd had. Claire started coming to my apartment more often. At first, She hated my couch. Then she fell asleep on it during a movie. I didn't wake her. When she opened her eyes an hour later, she realized her head was resting against my shoulder. She immediately sat up. You should have moved. You looked comfortable. I was. Then why move? She didn't answer. The following weekend, she fell asleep there again. This time, she didn't move when she woke. Claire also attempted to cook. Once, she stood in my kitchen holding a pan like it had personally offended her. What are you making? Pasta. I looked inside. That's ambitious. It is pasta. Technically. Ethan, I'm ordering pizza. No. Claire, whatever happened in that pan is already dead. She gave me a murderous look. We ate pizza. She stole my last slice. Dating Claire became a collection of small contradictions. She could negotiate a 9-figure acquisition before lunch, but needed me to explain why putting aluminum foil in a microwave was a bad idea. She could remember an entire quarterly report, but forgot where she left her apartment keys. She hated public affection, but always reached for my hand inside the car. And every night we weren't together, she sent the same message. Home. I'd answer, home. Then, Claire, good night. Nothing dramatic. But I started waiting for those messages. That was when I realized I was in trouble. The trouble arrived on a Thursday. Rachel walked into my office. Have you seen this? She placed her phone on my desk. A business news article filled the screen. Whitmore Cross Partnership Talks Renewity frowned. The article discussed a possible strategic partnership between Whitmore Industries and Cross Holdings. Then I reached the final paragraph. Sources suggested the relationship between the two families might extend beyond business. There were old photographs. Claire and Daniel at charity events. Claire standing beside him at a gala 3 years earlier. Nothing romantic, but the implication was obvious. I gave Rachel her phone back. It's gossip. Probably. You don't sound convinced. I'm asking whether Claire told you. No. Rachel nodded. That bothered me more than the article. I texted Claire. Ethan, busy. No answer. 20 minutes later, Claire, board meeting. Talk tonight. That was enough. Or it should have been. At 6. I was leaving the building when the executive elevator opened. Claire stepped out. Daniel Cross was beside her. I knew it was him immediately. Tall, polished, expensive suit. The kind of man who looked as though someone had designed him specifically for financial magazines. Claire saw me. She stopped. Daniel noticed. Claire. Her eyes stayed on mine. Ethan. Daniel looked between us. I walked over. Claire's expression was tense. Ethan. This is Daniel Cross. Daniel offered his hand. So you're Ethan. Interesting. I shook it. You've heard of me. He smiled. Claire's grandfather mentioned you. Of course he had. Claire looked annoyed. Daniel. What? You have a car waiting. A dismissal. He understood. He looked at Claire. Then at me. Dinner tomorrow. No. Still direct. Yes. Daniel smiled. Then left. Claire immediately turned to me. It isn't what the article says. I didn't ask. You read it. Yes. And I'm waiting for you to explain. Her shoulders relaxed slightly. The board is considering a joint infrastructure acquisition with Cross Holdings. Okay. My grandfather wants the families closer. I figured. I don't. I know. She stepped closer. Daniel knows that. Does he? Yes. I nodded. Then we're good. Claire stared at me. That easy. What were you expecting? Anger. Why? Because I didn't tell you. That part bothers me. Her face tightened. But you're telling me now? Yes. Then don't hide it next time. I won't. I started to walk away. Claire caught my wrist. Ethan. I looked back. What? She hesitated. Then said, I don't want you to think I'm choosing him. I don't. How do you know? Because you're terrible at hiding what you want. Her eyes narrowed. I'm not. You sent me 3 messages yesterday because I didn't answer for 20 minutes. You were late. I was in the gym. You could have fallen. I was lifting weights. Exactly. I laughed. Claire didn't. Then I saw the fear behind her expression. This wasn't really about Daniel. Claire had spent her entire life watching relationships become negotiations. She expected me to believe hers would too. I stepped closer. Claire. Yes. I trust you. 3 words. Her entire expression changed. She looked away. I touched her hand. Hey. She looked back. I'm not going anywhere because of a headline. Her voice was quiet. Good. Then, because I wouldn't let you. I smiled. There she is. 2 weeks later, the Whitmore Cross deal collapsed. Not because of me. Not because Claire refused to work with Daniel. The numbers simply didn't make sense. Claire recommended against it. The board agreed. Arthur wasn't pleased. But business was business. That should have ended the problem. Instead, it created a new one. Because someone leaked the reason the Whitmore family had been so interested in Daniel. And then someone leaked my name. I woke Saturday morning to 17 missed calls. 3 from Noah, 2 from Rachel, 4 from my director, 8 from Claire. I opened the first article. My stomach dropped. Ice Queen CEO's secret office, are only below the headline, was a photograph of Claire and me leaving a restaurant. Another showed us walking beside the river. Another showed her entering my apartment building. Then came my name, my job, my salary, my family background. The article compared me directly with Daniel Cross. The conclusion wasn't subtle. Claire Whitmore had rejected an heir and chosen an employee. My phone rang again. Claire. I answered. Morning. Don't leave your apartment. I sat up. Good morning to you too. Ethan. Her voice was different. Hard. Controlled. CEO Claire. What's happening? Reporters are downstairs. I walked to the window. She was right. 2 cars. Several people near the entrance. Great. Security is coming. Claire. I don't need yes. You do. There it was. An order. But this time, I understood. She wasn't trying to control me. She was scared. I'll wait. Silence. Then, I'm coming too. You have a board meeting. I canceled it. Claire. I said I'm coming. The call ended. 40 minutes later, she walked into my apartment. No makeup. Hair tied back. Dark coat. Angry. Not at me. At the world. She closed the door. I'll fix this. I looked at her. How? Legal action. Internal investigation. Security. I'll find the leak. Okay. And I'm transferring you. That stopped me. What? To another division. No. Her expression hardened. Ethan. No. This is temporary. You don't get to decide that. I'm protecting you. By changing my career without asking. It removes the conflict and proves every article right. I don't care about the articles. I care about my job. Claire stared at me. Her voice rose. I care about you. The apartment went silent. It was the first time she'd said it like that. Not I want you. Not I chose you. I care about you. I softened. I know. No. You don't. She looked furious now. And underneath it, afraid. They're outside your home because of me. That was my choice. You didn't choose this. I chose you. Claire stopped. I continued. I knew who you were. Not what it would cost. Neither did you. She looked at me. I walked closer. You don't protect me by taking my choices away. Her eyes dropped. The anger disappeared slowly. I don't know how to do this. It was barely above a whisper. I had never heard Claire Whitmore sound helpless before. I took her hand. Then asked. She looked up. What? Don't order. Ask. For several seconds. She said nothing. Then, will you let security stay downstairs? Yes. Will you let legal handle the reporters? Yes. Will you tell me if this becomes too much? Yes. Her fingers tightened around mine. Then she asked the hardest one. Will you stay? I looked at her. This time, there was no Ice Queen. No CEO. No billionaire heiress. Just Claire. The woman I'd found trying to escape a blind date. Yes. Her eyes closed. She leaned her forehead against my shoulder. I held her. No orders. No jokes. We stayed like that for a while. Then she whispered, Ethan. Yeah, I think I'm in love with you. Everything inside me went quiet. She immediately pulled back. For the first time, Claire looked genuinely nervous. You don't have to say it. I smiled. Good. Her eyes narrowed. Good. I was enjoying watching you panic. Ethan. I laughed, then took her face gently between my hands. I love you too. Claire froze. Completely. I smiled. You okay? Yes. You don't look okay. Say it again. I love you. Her eyes softened. Again. Don't get greedy. Ethan. That's an order. She stared at me. Then, finally, she smiled. No. Her hands closed around mine. A request. So I said it again. And for once, Claire Whitmore didn't need to order anything. The article changed things. Not between Claire and me. Around us. For the next 2 weeks. Reporters waited outside Whitmore Industries. My name appeared in business columns. People who had never met me suddenly had opinions about why Claire was dating me. Some called me ambitious. Others called me lucky. One headline called me the employee who won the Ice Queen. Claire hated that one. I'm not a prize, she said. We were having dinner at my apartment. I think they meant I won you. That's worse. Why? She looked at me. Because I chose you. I smiled. Of course you did. She pointed her fork at me. Don't mock me. I would never. You're doing it now? I laughed. She stole food from my plate. At least some things hadn't changed. But the attention created a larger problem. The board was getting nervous. And Claire's family was getting impatient. On Monday morning, Arthur Whitmore called me. Not Claire. Me. Lunch. He said. Is that an invitation? No. You really are her grandfather. He ignored that. Tomorrow. 1 o'clock. Then he hung up. I told Claire that evening. Her expression immediately cooled. No. No. You're not going. I think I am. Ethan. Claire. He's trying to interfere. Probably. And you're still going. Yes. She crossed her arms. Why? Because if your grandfather wants to tell me something, I'd rather hear it directly. I can handle him. I know. Then let me. I took her hand. This is about me too. Claire went quiet. She still hated giving up control. But this time, she nodded. Fine. Then she added, if he offers you money, ask for at least 50 million. I stared at her. She kept a perfectly straight face. Then I realized she was joking. You're getting better at humor. I'm serious. Claire. 100 million. I laughed. She smiled. Arthur chose a private club downtown. He got straight to the point. Claire loves you. I hadn't expected that opening. I know. Do you? Yes. He studied me. She told you. Yes. Interesting. Why? She doesn't say things she can't control. That sounded exactly like Claire. Arthur placed a folder on the table. I didn't touch it. What is that? A problem. Sounds exciting. It isn't. He opened the folder. Inside were polling reports, board notes, investor comments, and press summaries. The relationship had become a corporate issue. Some shareholders questioned whether Claire could objectively manage an employee she was dating. Others believed my position created governance risks. None of it was catastrophic, but it was real. You want me to resign? I said. Arthur shook his head. I want you to understand. Understand what? That loving Claire means living with consequences she can't always prevent. I already know. No. He looked at me. You're beginning to know. I said nothing. Arthur closed the folder. Daniel Cross would never create this problem. There it was. I leaned back. Then Claire should date Daniel. No. That surprised me. Arthur continued. She'd be miserable. So why mention him? Because Daniel fits her world. And I don't. Not yet. I looked at him. He wasn't insulting me. That almost made it worse. What do you want? I want to know whether you'll run when this becomes difficult. I answered immediately. No. Arthur watched me. You're very certain. She already tried running once. He frowned. What? From a blind date. Arthur almost smiled. I helped her then. I stood. I'll help her now. 3 days later, Claire solved the governance problem herself. She called me into her office. There were no jokes. No personal messages. Just 2 documents. I'm moving you. I looked at her. We discussed this. This is different. She pushed the first document toward me. It was an offer from Whitmore Strategic Ventures, an independently managed subsidiary with its own executive team. A promotion, higher salary, more responsibility. I read the page twice. This isn't protection. No. You actually think I'm qualified? Yes. Would I have gotten this without dating you? Claire held my gaze. You were already shortlisted before we met. That surprised me. She pushed the second document forward. Your performance reviews. I opened it. My name had been recommended for promotion 3 months before Claire became CEO. I looked at her. You checked. Of course. Because you wanted to move me. Because I refused to damage your career to make mine easier. That was Claire. She was learning. I signed. Her shoulders relaxed. Then I looked at her. Can I kiss the CEO now? No. I raised an eyebrow. We're at work. Right. She stood, walked around the desk, closed the office door, then looked at me. Now you can. I laughed. My transfer ended the worst of the headlines. For a while, life became easier. Then Daniel Cross returned. This time, he wasn't interested in Claire. He wanted Whitmore Industries. Cross Holdings had quietly acquired shares through several investment vehicles. Not enough for control, but enough to pressure the board. The move was legal, aggressive, and personal. Claire spent 3 nights at the office. On the 4th, I found her asleep at her desk. I put my coat over her shoulders. Her eyes opened immediately. Ethan, you're exhausted. I have work. You have a bed. I'll sleep later. No. She sat up. Are you ordering me? Yes. Claire stared at me. I smiled. Go home. She looked at the reports. Then at me. No. I closed the folder. Claire, I can fix this. I know. I need time. You need sleep. She became irritated. Ethan, this company employs 40,000 people, and none of them benefit from a CEO who collapses at her desk. She went silent. Then she leaned back. I hate when you're right. You must hate me often. Frequently. I held out my hand. Come on. She took it. The Cross problem lasted 6 weeks. Claire won. Not through family influence. Not through Arthur. She restructured the board agreements, secured support from long-term shareholders, and forced Cross Holdings to abandon its attempt. I watched her do what she was built to do. She was ruthless when necessary, patient when necessary, brilliant almost always. The morning the final agreement was signed, everyone celebrated. Claire didn't. She called me. Roof. One word. I went upstairs. She stood alone, overlooking Chicago. You won. I said. We won. I didn't do anything. You stayed. I stopped. Claire turned toward me. When everything became difficult, you stayed. I told you I would. People say things. So, you did it. I walked toward her. She looked strangely emotional. I spent my whole life believing people stayed because they wanted something. Money. Sometimes. Power. Yes. Your name. Yes. And me? She looked at me. You stayed when being with me made your life harder. I smiled. Terrible investment. Claire stepped closer. Ethan. Yeah. I want to ask you something. No orders. No. That got my attention. She reached into her coat pocket. For one terrifying second, I thought she had a ring. Instead, she held out a key. I stared at it. What is that? My apartment. You're giving me a key. Yes. Why? Claire looked almost annoyed that she had to explain. I want you there. I took the key. That sounds suspiciously romantic. Don't ruin it. I smiled. Then she added, move in with me. I looked at her. Claire. It makes sense. There she goes. What? You're turning romance into a business proposal. She frowned. We already spend 5 nights a week together. True. Your commute would be shorter. Also true. My apartment has more space. Much more. And I love you. I stopped smiling. Claire did too. That last part hadn't been calculated. She took my hand. I don't want to go home and wonder whether you're coming over. Her voice softened. I want home to mean you're already there. That did it. Yes. Claire blinked. Yes. I'll move in. She smiled. Then immediately said, Saturday. I laughed. What? You couldn't let the moment stay romantic for 5 seconds. I booked movers. You already booked movers. Yes. Before asking me. I was confident. I stared at her. She lifted her chin. Saturday. 9. I shook my head. Bossy. Claire stepped closer. Her arms slipped around me. Then she looked up. You love it. This time. I didn't argue. Moving in with Claire taught me something important. The Ice Queen was messy. Not dirty. Messy. Reports everywhere. Shoes in strange places. Coffee cups abandoned on tables. Her keys disappeared almost daily. On our 3rd morning together, she stood in the bedroom doorway. Ethan. I opened one eye. What? Have you seen my phone? You're holding it. She looked at her hand. Silence. I started laughing. Don't. You run a multi-billion-dollar company. Ethan, your phone is literally in your hand. She threw a pillow at me. I caught it. She walked away. 2 seconds later, she came back. My keys. Kitchen counter. She disappeared, then returned again. My laptop is by the couch. She stared at me. How do you know? Because apparently I'm your executive assistant now. Claire walked over to the bed. I expected another pillow. Instead, she leaned down and kissed my forehead. Thank you. Then she left. I smiled into the pillow. That was our life. Not dramatic. Not perfect. But ours. And for the first time since I'd met her, Claire no longer seemed like a woman looking for an exit. Until her grandfather called one Sunday morning. Claire listened without speaking. Then her expression changed. What happened? I asked. She ended the call. My grandfather is stepping down. I sat up. When? 3 months. And Claire looked at me. The board wants me to become chairwoman as well as CEO. That sounds like good news. It is. But she hesitated. Then said, the family wants an announcement at the annual gala. About the chairmanship. Claire shook her head. About my future. I understood. Marriage. Yes. To Daniel. No. Then what's the problem? Her eyes met mine. They expect me to announce who I intend to marry. I stared at her. Claire stepped closer. For once, she looked less like an ice queen than a woman who had no idea what came next. Then she said, and everyone assumes I'm going to choose you. The Whitmore annual gala was 3 weeks away. Claire hated it already. Not because she was becoming chairwoman. That part didn't bother her. The problem was what her family expected to happen afterward. Marriage. More specifically, an announcement about marriage. We were standing in the kitchen when she told me. They expect you to propose. I asked. No. Good. They expect me to announce that I intend to marry you. I looked at her. That sounds worse. I know. Claire put down her coffee. I already told my grandfather no. Because you don't want to marry me. Her eyes immediately narrowed. Don't be stupid. I smiled. So you do. She stared at me. I had finally managed to make Claire Whitmore uncomfortable. That isn't the point. It suddenly feels like the point. She walked past me. I caught her hand. Claire. What? Do you want to marry me? She went silent. For a woman who could answer a $100 million question in seconds, Claire suddenly found the floor very interesting. Finally, she said, yes. One word. Quiet. Certain. Then she looked at me. But not because the board wants it. Not because my grandfather thinks it will stabilize my image. And not because some newspaper wants a story. I stopped smiling. Claire continued, if I marry you, it's because I chose you. There it was again. Choice. The word that had defined us from the beginning. I squeezed her hand. Then don't announce anything. She looked surprised. That's it. That's it. The board won't like it. That's their problem. My family won't like it. Also their problem. Claire stared at me. Then she smiled. You've become difficult. I learned from you. The gala arrived on Saturday. Hundreds of people filled the Whitmore Grand Ballroom. Executives, investors, politicians, reporters, people whose names appeared on buildings. I stood near the back while Claire took the stage. She wore a simple black evening dress. No dramatic jewelry. No attempt to soften herself for the cameras. She looked exactly like the woman I'd met outside that hotel months earlier. Only now, she wasn't trying to escape. Arthur Whitmore made the announcement himself. After decades leading the family company, he was stepping down as chairman. Claire would succeed him. The applause lasted almost a minute. Claire stepped to the microphone. Thank you. The room went quiet. She spoke for less than 10 minutes. No sentimental speech. No unnecessary promises. Just Claire. When she finished, a reporter near the front raised a hand. Ms. Whitmore, there has been speculation regarding your relationship with Ethan Cole. I saw Claire's expression change. Barely. The reporter continued. Will there also be a personal announcement tonight? The ballroom became silent. Arthur looked toward Claire. So did everyone else. Claire could have ignored the question. Instead, she looked across the room. At me. There will not. Whispers spread immediately. The reporter tried again. Does that mean the reports about an engagement are false? Yes. That answer hit harder. Several people turned toward me. Claire remained calm. My relationship is not a corporate announcement. Another reporter asked, but do you intend to marry Mr. Cole? Claire paused. Then she said, that is a question for Ethan and me. No smile. No embarrassment. Just certainty. And when we have an answer, we'll give it to each other first. Arthur looked at her, then smiled. The question stopped. I found Claire 10 minutes later on a quiet balcony. You ran away from your own gala. She didn't turn. I'm taking a break. Sounds familiar. That made her look at me. I walked beside her. Congratulations, Chairwoman Whitmore. Thank you. You were good. I know. Very humble. You like confidence. I like you. Her expression softened. Then she looked back through the glass doors. Everyone wanted an announcement. I noticed. My grandfather even had a press statement prepared. You're kidding. No. What did it say? Something about the next chapter of the Whitmore family. I laughed. Claire didn't. I fired the person who wrote it. My laughter stopped. You didn't. No. A pause. I considered it. There she is. Claire finally smiled. Then her expression became serious. Ethan. Yeah. I meant what I said. About what? Marriage. I looked at her. She continued. I want it. With me. Claire gave me an irritated look. No. With the waiter. Just checking. She stepped closer. But I'm not asking tonight. Why? Because tonight belongs to Whitmore Industries. That answer told me how much she'd changed. Months earlier, Claire would have combined everything into one efficient decision. CEO, chairwoman, boyfriend, marriage, done. Now she understood that some things deserve their own moment. I took her hand. Good. She looked at me. You agree? Yes. Why? Because I'm not asking tonight either. Claire froze. Her eyes dropped immediately to my jacket pocket. I laughed. You just checked for a ring. No. You absolutely did. I did not. You looked directly at my pocket. She turned away. I was still laughing when she walked back inside. 2 months passed. Nothing dramatic happened. And that was exactly what I wanted. Claire worked. I worked. We argued over what to watch at night. She continued stealing my food. I continued pretending it annoyed me. She learned to make coffee. It was still terrible. One Sunday morning, I woke to find her sitting beside me with her laptop. What time is it? 8. Why are you working? I'm not. I looked at the screen. She was reading restaurant reviews. What's this? I need somewhere good. 4. She closed the laptop. Nothing. I stared at her. Claire stared back. Are you planning something? No. You're a terrible liar. So are you. She got out of bed. I watched her leave. Something was definitely happening. I found out 3 days later. Wednesday afternoon. Claire sent me an address. No explanation. Just 7 p.m. I replied. Order. Her answer came a minute later. Request. That was enough. At 7, I arrived at the address. The Langford Hotel. I stopped outside. The same hotel. The same place where we'd met. Claire was waiting near the restaurant entrance. Not in a formal dress this time. Simple coat. Dark trousers. Hair loose. No security beside her. No driver waiting at the door. Just Claire. I walked over. You're not escaping another blind date, are you? No. Good. My rescue rates have increased. She almost smiled. Come with me. We walked through the hotel, not toward the restaurant, toward the service corridor. I laughed. You're serious? Yes. You brought me back here. Claire kept walking. This is where you found me. You found me. I chose you. You thought I looked harmless. I was wrong. About. You're extremely troublesome. Thank you. We reached the same service elevator. Claire pressed the button. Nothing happened. She pressed it again. I started laughing. Her eyes narrowed. Don't. This elevator still hates you. The doors finally opened. We stepped inside. Instead of the garage, Claire pressed the rooftop level. Where are we going? You ask too many questions. Some things never change. No. Her hand found mine. But some things do. The rooftop was empty. A small table stood near the edge. Dinner for two. No photographers. No family. No board members. No announcement. Just us. Claire sat across from me. For the first half of dinner, nothing unusual happened. Then dessert arrived. No ring hidden inside. Thank God. Claire waited until the waiter left. Then she looked at me. Ethan. Something in her voice made me sit straighter. What? The first night we met, I ordered you to help me. Basically. Then I ordered you to date me. You tried. I succeeded. Debatable. She ignored me. I thought wanting something meant I needed to take control of it. I didn't interrupt. Claire rarely talked about herself this openly. I spent my entire life making decisions before other people could make them for me. Because of your family. Because of everyone. She looked at our hands. Then I met you. I smiled. Terrible luck. Yes. I laughed. She didn't. Her fingers tightened around mine. You were the first person who kept telling me no. Someone had to. And you were the first person who made me understand that if I wanted you to stay, I couldn't order you to. I stopped smiling. Claire looked directly at me. I had to ask. She stood. For 1 second. I genuinely didn't understand. Then she reached into her coat. My heart stopped. Claire Whitmore took out a small ring box. I stared at her. Claire. I know. You're a yes. You're proposing to me. Yes. Of course, she said it like she was confirming a meeting time. I started laughing. Her face changed. Why are you laughing? Because you're you. That doesn't answer my question. You haven't asked one yet. Claire froze. I smiled. For perhaps the first time in her life. Claire Whitmore looked completely terrified. She opened the box. Then she looked at me. No CEO. No chairwoman. No billionaire heiress. Just the woman who had once asked a stranger to help her escape a date she didn't want. Ethan Cole. Yes. Her voice softened. Will you marry me? I waited. Just long enough. Her eyes narrowed. Ethan. I smiled. That sounded like a warning. Answer me. Getting bossy again. She closed her eyes. I stood and took her hands. Yes. Her eyes opened. Yes. Yes. Claire. She stared at me for another second. Then smiled. Not the small smile she showed executives. Not the rare smile she used when I made her laugh. This one belonged only to me. She slipped the ring onto my finger. I looked at it. So I'm officially yours. Claire nodded. Good. Good. Yes. Then she added. But you're mine too. I laughed. There's the Ice Queen. She stepped closer. Problem. Not anymore. We didn't announce the engagement that night. Claire didn't call Arthur. I didn't call Noah. For one evening. It belonged only to us. The next morning, however, Claire apparently decided privacy had lasted long enough. I was making coffee when she walked into the kitchen. Ethan. Morning. I told grandfather. I stopped. You already told him. Yes. What did he say? He asked when. When what? The wedding. I laughed. Of course. Claire picked up my coffee. Hey. She drank it. Then handed it back. We should choose a date. We got engaged 12 hours ago. Yes. Can we survive breakfast first? Claire considered that. Fine. I narrowed my eyes. That was suspiciously easy. I already shortlisted 3 dates. I stared at her. Claire. What? Do I get a vote? Yes. Good. You can choose one of the 3. I started laughing. She looked completely serious. Some things really didn't change. 6 months later. We got married. Small ceremony. Family. Close friends. No business press. No strategic announcement. Claire insisted on that. Arthur complained for approximately 6 minutes before agreeing. Noah gave a speech that included far too much information about the night I met Claire. Rachel laughed through most of it. Claire threatened to fire Noah twice. He reminded her he no longer worked directly for her. She threatened him anyway. After the reception, I found Claire standing near the hotel doors. I recognized the expression immediately. No. She looked at me. I haven't said anything. You want to leave? Yes. This is our wedding. I know. You're escaping your own wedding. The ceremony is finished. The party isn't. I've spoken to everyone. You haven't spoken to my uncle. I don't like your uncle. Neither do I. Claire held out her hand. Then come with me. I looked at it. Years earlier, she'd been standing near these same doors trying to escape a man someone else had chosen for her. She had grabbed a stranger because she needed a way out. Now she wasn't escaping something she hated. She was leaving with someone she loved. I took her hand. Where? Anywhere. I smiled. That still isn't a destination. I know. We slipped through the side exit before anyone noticed. Outside, Claire looked happier than I'd ever seen her. I unlocked the car. She stopped. You still have this? I looked at my old Honda. Of course. You can afford a better car. So can you. She sighed and got in. I started the engine. Claire reached for my hand. I looked at her. Mrs. Cole. She gave me a warning look. Don't. Chairwoman Cole. Absolutely not. Mrs. Ice Queen. Ethan. I laughed. Then she smiled and leaned against my shoulder. The first time I met Claire Whitmore, she ordered me to help her escape a blind date. The second time, she became my CEO and tried to order me to become her man. But somewhere between the orders, the arguments, the stolen fries, the terrible coffee, and all the moments nobody else ever saw, something changed. The woman who had spent her whole life giving orders learned how to ask. And the man who kept telling her no finally gave her the one answer she wanted most. Yes. Claire squeezed my hand. Ethan. Yeah. Drive. I looked at her. Is that an order? Her eyes softened. Then she smiled. No. She intertwined her fingers with mine. Just take me home. So I did. This time, neither of us was running away.